All right, we are now on to stage 3 of Operation Dissonance. We are in the 4th phase now because we managed to finish the previous stage in one phase, which I was very happy with. Now, for this stage, I have not been able to get even close to completing it in a single phase. I don't think it's actually possible. So the plan that we're going for here is a 2-phase plan, basically. We intend to make sure that our forces are in a position at the end of this phase that we're going to play out to be able to capitalize and finish it off very quickly in the second one. So overall, the whole operation will have taken about 5 phases, which is pretty good. I usually take 6 phases overall for the whole operation. But yeah, there's that. So we got a lot of decisions to make right now. So first of all, we are rich. We have 380 operational authority, thanks to our ability to finish the previous stage in that one single phase. We blitzed through everything. First things first, we need to replenish our losses here. Everything's pretty alright, except for the very big mistake that I made in the final minute of the previous stage. I lost the entire attack helicopter platoon in a very stupid maneuver. But as you can see, we only lost 1 level of their veterancy, so we can get them back up to the top veterancy, no problem. So let's just replenish everybody. Our mortar unit has got 1 level of veterancy. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so first things first, we're getting the assault engineers because they're going to be quite useful in this whole stage. So we're gonna call in the mechanized task force Tambov, and then we're gonna upgrade them once. Now we've got an extra recon unit, this BRMs. They're quite similar to the BRDMs that we have. Well, no, actually, there's a completely different chassis. That is interesting. Okay, but the big difference is that they've got a 73mm gun, so they can do some damage, against light armor and stuff like that. So we'll be using them. But of course, the assault engineers, these are the guys that we really want to use. Now, what I'm going to do first is buy the deployment points to max it out so that we can deploy the whole regiment. Okay, okay. Yeah, I need to buy 1 more to get it up. But the problem is, do we want to spend them in other places? Okay, our supplies are looking very low, so we're going to have to get some of that. So if we get this deployment points increased by 75, and the supplies that will use up all of our operational authority. I am not too fussed about trying to level the engineers up again, because if you can see on the right hand corner here, by spending another 50 operational authority, we get an extra artillery barrage, but it's a very costly one, and quite frankly, our heavy artillery ability that we have for 10 points that has served us throughout this entire operation has been doing tons of work for us, and I don't really think we need another off-map artillery ability. Our tactical support at 2 out of 10 has been working fine for us so far. It's like every minute we get to use our heavy artillery and smoke artillery. So yeah, I'm not gonna invest anymore in there. We don't need much engineer support because throughout this entire operation there hasn't been like a proper defensive battle where we would need to utilize that. So yeah, we're just gonna buy the extra 75 points here so that we're maxed out. We can deploy everything, our whole regiment and our reinforcing task force, and then spend the rest on the supplies. We are now pretty much broke. But yeah, we're looking in a very good position. So after the events, yep, so only got this. This will be a little bit helpful because the first phase of this stage is always at night. So we're gonna have some extra ability to pinpoint where the enemy is. And yeah, all right, let's get at it. Okay, so that last statement was a little bit incorrect, and I think I know why. So regarding the time of day that the stage takes place, in all my previous run-throughs, I get to this point at phase 6. And at phase 6, it's nighttime. And I didn't realize that the game takes into account the time, or at least I think it takes into account, because I'm rewatching the footage now and I'm trying to think of why it's like that. And this is the explanation that I can think of at the time of this recording. That because we finished the previous stage in one phase, the time of day of the operation basically means we start this engagement earlier on in the day when it's still daytime, which is really cool because if that is the way that the game and the operations are designed, that's a level of detail that I was not expecting when I got this game. Because you don't see that kind of level of detail in games these days. No one really pays much attention or really cares much to stuff like that. So yeah, that's really cool. So what are we doing here? So we've deployed the whole regiment. We had all the deployment points. That's why we bought all the extra stuff with the operational authority. So we just straight up deployed everything. And what we're looking to do here is we're going to attack the west side. So we're still following somewhat of the similar strategy that I've employed throughout this entire operation, where we just flank far around to a wide flank, approach the enemy from behind, and then systematically destroy all of the entrenched positions from the rear. That way we don't need to trade in ridiculous numbers and lose a lot of guys. It is a very time-consuming strategy because, like, as we can see here, the first few minutes is just us maneuvering around to the side. But it is what it is, and since, like I said, we're not in a rush for this stage, we're not trying to do it in one phase, I figured might as well do it this way, because I don't want to take losses. I'm trying to go for efficiency here. There's a lot of other people that have done far more efficient runs than what I'm doing here, but for most of the recorded footage that has been posted on YouTube, I've never quite seen anybody else do wide flanking maneuvers like this on this operation. So I figured I might as well just stick with it, run it, and then post that and just show to everybody this is the way I thought that might be a good way to go around. But as far as I know, I may be doing the most inefficient way possible, considering the other after-action reports that people post on the Discord server. My kill-to-death ratio isn't as high as theirs. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see. So I'm attacking this point here. Now, if you're approaching this as a first timer, you have to remember, as you can see, there are lines connecting all of the points. So you need to capture them in succession from your deployment zone. So if we were to put units into this point here, point farm, we wouldn't be able to capture it because the previous point, which is off to the right corner of the screen here, where the warehouse is, that's the name of that point, we don't have that captured yet. But that's okay, because we're looking here to destroy the entrenched enemy first. We're here to wipe out as many of those units with as little losses to our own boys, and then we'll worry about capturing the points. I'm only looking to capture at least 2 points, point farm and warehouse off to the right. Those two alone will give us 100 operational authority, and that will be more than enough to replenish and resupply us for the next phase when we get into the after-action report. So here we are, we've lined up everybody along this forest line, have the recon out on the left flank to keep an eye out on the deployment zone. Just like in the previous phases and stages, enemy reinforcements in forms of mobile groups will spawn in, and they will approach and attack us. There are 3 enemy deployment zones in this stage. There's one that's off to the top of the screen there, to the north. There's one further northeast, and one further east. Now we do have AI support, just like in the previous stage, so there's an entire AI player with his own TAC aides and his own regiment that is constantly putting pressure through the front door where warehouse is to the right of the screen. And usually the AI is more than capable of taking the first point, so you don't really need to worry about the operational authority, you not having it, if you don't go straight for that first objective outside of the deployment zone. Of course, every now and then, because of the way the generation works, every scenario is never the exact same way the enemy dispositions and positions are always different, and the AI sometimes takes different decisions into where it attacks as well. So there is a chance that the AI isn't going to capture at any point. But so far in all my playthroughs, that's never happened before, so we're sticking with what we've got going here. So we've pretty much cleared out farm, and now we're moving on to hotel. Hotel is important because this is the furthest point back in terms of the orientation of the enemy forces. Hotel basically overlooks the main town center and the flanks. So if we knock out the units here, we have complete freedom of maneuver to flank around all the other points from behind. So we're taking our time here to reorganize, replenish our forces. We took some hits from enemy artillery. Recon units and attack helicopters are off to the north, screening that flank there. I'm gonna try get eyes on hotel, spot the units there. Now you gotta be careful here because the enemy units are all entrenched and they're in cover. And your recon units can detect them without being detected, but you have to be really careful. So you can see here I'm just creeping up this tree line a few clicks at a time, because I don't want them to get spotted and then get deleted before they are able to provide kind of sustained information to our main forces. So you can see here we've already detected one. Just give it a few seconds to fully identify and then move on. So we have a lone tank platoon that's all the way outside of hotel, so we're gonna engage with our attack helicopters. We've got the range, we've got the recon on them. They can't really see us yet. Well, they see us now because we're firing at them. But yeah, we've got all the advantages in our favor. Now the rest of the regiment pulls up from behind, and yep, just picking the tanks off with ridiculous range. There they go, tank platoon destroyed. Now we push up with the recon, try to find the enemy infantry. And there we go. And now we just push in with the whole regiment. We got them on the flank, not much they can do from here. Our artillery actually does quite a lot of damage. Forces two of the platoons to retreat. Makes it a very easy assault into the point. Now, as per usual, we are trying to keep the regiment behind enemy lines for as long as possible. So we have to make sure that they don't get wiped out, and we keep resupplying and replenishing them with the supply trucks. Utilizing the area recon ability combined with the heavy artillery. It's a really good combo. So we're gonna go in for the main town center now. I figured that this would probably be the better position to attack first, just because of what the initial strategy that I pointed out first was. We wanted to knock out as many of the entrenched units as possible with little losses to our own. So instead of going for the railway station, which is the last victory point off to the right there, I figured we're here now. The main town center has 3 points that are all quite close together. We've got the assault engineers and the 2 mech infantry platoons with us, so we've got more than enough firepower to engage in this urban environment. We might as well go and do that first. Now we've got some of the mobile forces that were generated on the initial spawn point, because these aren't deployment reinforcements. They're counter-attacking forces basically. They come later. But yeah, we draw them out in the open, they get knocked out, and now we are pushing forward with our infantry. The assault engineers took quite a lot of damage. It was quite a few misplays on my part there, but they've got enough manpower to dig out the mechanized infantry that is within this town right here. We've got the tanks in the tree line behind them, giving suppressive fire. Got the mortars set up, they're having a way. In terms of air threats, there aren't many. It's the same story throughout the whole operation. Your anti-air unit doesn't really get much use, but it's good to have because, like in the previous phase, we saw them engage enemy infantry. That was quite helpful. So here we are. Come across the rear of a couple of platoons. Assault engineers are engaging. A little bit of misplay here because you really want to try and engage with multiple platoons. That way the enemy will spread their fire across, so that no one unit gets focused down. Our assault engineers here are taking quite a lot of heavy losses here. We're gonna have to retreat them. Our supply truck already ran out of supplies, had to pull them back. So yeah, we have to retreat folks now. But we've knocked out quite a lot of entrenched positions, and our mechanized infantry platoons are still pretty healthy. They're already in the town. Yeah, we're looking alright. It was probably a mistake to engage the units that were at the rail station here, because I think if I had just made my approach further west where the infantry did their initial approach, I could have probably avoided this engagement here, because it wasn't very good trades on my part here. So we're trying to bait the enemy tank platoons out into the open, but they're not quite taking it. Our infantry has encountered the entrenched positions at Mulhausen 2. So I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce any of the names here, so forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, but yeah. Had to retreat there. Now here's where things... Yeah, we get caught out on the flank there, and I think we do actually lose quite a lot of the mortar platoon here. And I'm gonna have to conduct a full retreat at this point because I'm surrounded, outnumbered, and outgunned. And more enemy counterattacking forces. As you can see, the radio interceptor, they're coming after us now as well. So yeah, full retreat. So we didn't quite get the kind of result that we had in the previous two stages, but that's alright. We've still got 7 minutes left on the clock here. Our entire regiment, even though they're off the board, that means they're back in the deployment zone. They're getting fully replenished and resupplied. So we're gonna make one more big play. Try and knock out Mulhausen 2 here and Mulhausen 1. And see if we can get 2 capture zones. Warehouses is almost taken by the AI here, so we're just gonna reapproach the town from our initial vector from the west side here, from farm, and get some more points and get into the town again. There's the recon going up. Still got quite a lot of opposition on the point there. In my experience, the AI usually favors attacking the eastern flank, where Hill 78 is. It may be I have not played the scenario enough to have seen it take other routes, but that's what I've observed so far. Well, now the AI is going to take the brunt of the entire counter-attacking force. So all of the mobile units that were already initially deployed, combined with the counter-attacking force, they've got now to contend with that. But they seem to have cleared out Hill 78 and they're now capturing it. So we got our own problems on the west side now. Gonna need to pull back into the tree line. Enemy forces are out in the open trying to maneuver against us, so yeah, we've got all the advantages that we need. I have to be careful with the recon unit here, just in case they get caught out. Because they're providing most of the vision here in this engagement. The enemy can't really see us. So we got lots of effective fire getting poured into here. It was quite easy to deal with this counterattack. The recon units actually did get caught out, but they don't take much damage. I was able to micro them out of danger quickly enough that they didn't take any effective fire from those two tank platoons.
Zone lost.
Doing a little bit of multitasking here. No point in bringing heavy artillery onto that group there. We already have them out in the open. Would have been a waste of that ability. So instead, we are pouring more fire into the entrenched positions that we know are in Mulhausen 2. Just finish off this group, and then we're just gonna go straight for it. 3 minutes left on the clock. And see if we can get at least this one extra point. Recon gets caught out in the open. They managed to make it into the tree line though. They are taking some fire. So I'm thinking to myself now, maybe might be able to get a chain of captures here, because we've already cleared out most of the entrenched units that are in front of us and to the north side of the town. But this ends up being a mistake, which we will see in a few minutes. Right, so those air raid sirens here, this is a operation event type thing. Yeah, ballistic missiles with gas get hit down here on the first phase of this stage. I think that's like just the normal way that it's encoded. This event just always happens like this. So long as we don't have any units in the rail station, we're pretty good. I think I do make a mistake here. One of the missiles does hit the point where our assault engineers are about to go into. I think. Maybe wrong.
One minute remaining.
Yep,
Zone
go.
captured.
That one right there. Ah, that hurt. That hurt. But oh well. The problem here is that we were a few seconds too late, so we're not gonna quite be able to flip Mulhausen 3 and Hotel. Actually, we should be able to get Mulhausen 3. Yeah, I'm sorry, Hotel. We're not gonna be able to get Hotel. And the thing that I forgot is that if we don't capture the point and it still remains blue, not all of the entrenched enemy units get replenished, but 1 or 2 platoons do get redeployed in trench. So right now, I actually need to get my recon units out of there, because when they start the next phase, they're gonna be right on top of an entrenched enemy infantry platoon, and they will get shredded. So yeah, that was a misplay there. But we did manage to push into the rest of the town, and we've got most of the victory points in the town. There's 3 more off to the east side there. But yeah, in terms of kills and losses, not the best result, but I'll take it. I'm quite happy. Still very much in the positive. Okay, so that could have gone a lot better. I definitely did not play that one very well. But yeah, well, it happens. It happens. So in terms of victory points, we already exceeded the max amount. So we're gonna get a total victory either which way. But I still intend to finish this stage in this next phase here. So first off, we're gonna need to replenish all of our losses, of which they are quite significant. So let's just do that. Okay, that leaves us with 31, so not too bad. Yeah, we need to buy supplies because we're all out, and now we're broke again. So what happens after we use up all the cards is that a new draw happens. So yeah, I'm thinking here we go for blitz. So the phase will last 5 minutes or less, and we get 200 extra supply points. The 100 deployment points doesn't really matter because we're already maxed out. But yeah, we'll go for that. And yeah, I think we should be able to finish it in this phase. We just need to get the last few points, and it'll be game over. Right. So one thing that I didn't realize at the time was that in this phase here, we actually have the opportunity to deploy some engineering support. But of course, we were broke already, so we weren't going to do that. My strategy it wouldn't have fit in either because we're trying to go and attack the enemy, get it over and done with as fast as possible. But it is something to consider if you're doing it on a lower difficulty, or if you have gotten to this stage and you're like extremely rich. That's an option to you. But yeah, now this stage is happening at night. You can tell it is because we have the illumination rounds in the left-hand screen there. It's available to us as a tack aid. It's a free tack aid. The only thing you have is the cooldown every time you use it, but it doesn't cost any tack aid points. Now, as you could see there, that's what I mentioned. We should have pulled the recon unit out earlier from Hotel, but they got caught out by the mechanized infantry platoon that was deployed there, and we had to just immediately retreat them. So now we are trying to get the rest of the points, and the problem that we're going to run into here is the counterattacking forces. There's going to be a lot of counterattacking forces, and they're going to be approaching us from a lot of different angles. So we're going to have to run around and deal with threats as they appear to us. That drags on this phase a little bit longer than I would have liked it to have gone. But hey, it is what it is. So, we're sending our assault engineers and mech infantry platoon off the hotel to deal with that replenished force that's there. The rest of the regiment, however, is moving further east. Try and knock out what little resistance is left on the board. A little bit of a misplay there. Didn't deploy the infantry fast enough. Should have deployed them further out before they got into the point. But well. AI is doing a lot of good work over on the east side there. They've already wiped out all of the main units in Hill 78. It's just the entrenched positions in Point November and Waterberg. I think that's how you pronounce that other point. But yeah, we're on the flanks. We got them from behind. Recon is moving out further east to try identify the actual platoons. The AI regiment has reorganized itself and concentrated themselves, so they're making a push now from the south. Got the
Zone
attack helicopters
captured.
engaging the tank platoon there. Because we got line of sight from the recon. The enemy can't see us, but we can see them. Another misplay here with the recon unit that we retreated at the start. I sent him to Hill 78 to try get the cap going because the AI wasn't really prioritizing it. But in doing so meant that I wasn't paying attention and he went out in the open and got shot up by the entrenched enemy units at Point Waterberg. But they're alive, we got them into cover so they're hidden, so there's that. So this right here is all the main resistance that's left. And once we capture all the points, it gives us a total domination victory. And that's the end of the whole stage and the whole operation. I didn't point out, but we are already pretty much in the clear for the operation result table. We've already superseded the minimum and the medium number of points necessary for the overall operation result. I didn't realize this infantry platoon actually managed to pivot and is now facing towards the west. They had to take that platoon out of there.
Zone captured.
That's pretty much it. Now the enemy's about to be counterattacking us on the west side, so they're gonna contest the points, which will deny us from getting the total victory at this point in time. But we will eventually get it. So here you can see I wasn't paying attention. I only realized when the announcement popped up that we had lost Point Farm. And now we're gonna have to regroup, reorganize, reorientate, and go back to the other side of the map. Just making sure the point gets captured, just in case the AI decides to do AI things and just leaves for no reason.
Zone captured.
Trying to regroup everybody to Walhausen 2 there, and then jump off into farm. Having one of our recon units that had to be redeployed, having him go on the far western flank. Keep eyes on that side there, just in case the AI does something really weird. Usually the AI doesn't do anything too drastic. Try and get the infantry up into that tree line that extends into farm. Want as much cover as possible for them. have to be careful with this recon unit here because of how dense the terrain is. Anybody that is right in the middle can be hidden. But the thing is, our artillery strike from a few minutes ago pretty much wiped out everybody, so there's nobody here. So now we just get in the point, start the capture. However, something else happens. On the other flank here, the enemy counterattacks, and now even more forces are being redeployed to engage us. So we're gonna have to just deal with the problems as they come towards us. The AI, if I recall correctly, pretty much handles this attack pretty well because it had overwhelming numerical superiority against that force. I had one mech infantry platoon that I kept in reserve at the back, so he managed to help out in this battle here. The AI took significant losses. But here we go. That's the end of that. So the entire operation is concluded, and so is this stage and phase. We took relatively light losses, didn't engage too many enemy units, but you know, trades were well into the positive. So I'm quite happy with that. So yeah. Okay, so that is the end of the entire operation. We did it in 5 phases. This is the final after action report for the whole operation. So we achieved the maximum victory points. Actually, we exceeded it. We have all of the stats relating to all the kills that each of the individual platoons got. Got that all down here. I don't really bother looking through them, really. I mean, it's nice that it's all tallied and recorded. That's really cool. Now, looking at our losses here, so we in total lost 555 to the enemy's almost 3,000. So it's about a 6-to-1 trade there. Yeah. Okay. I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, right. So that's the end of that. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.